All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you an element of PlayStation's biggest strategic, attempts at pretty much taking the gaming industry at its neck. They use perception more than anything else. And I see a lot of fanboy pockets, even on the Xbox side and even on the PlayStation side. They all fall for it because they don't realize that PlayStation understands exactly its position in the industry. They know that if they actually went tit for tat with Xbox with the same aggression, they will lose. Just the Activision acquisition alone has them running scared for the hills. In their market analysis, where they pretty much talked about feeling threatened by Xbox's capability to deploy games on PC, console, and mobile, and cloud subscription all in just one fell swoop. Thinking about how they're basically in a position to bring their most valuable game, which they held high for the longest time and used to farm money, which was Call of Duty, and they see Xbox buying it and putting it on Game Pass with ease, not even flinching at all. So they know exactly where they stand. And this is why it's very important for you to be able to understand their business strategy, that it is a perception-based business strategy. Bombshell email, this is what I wanted to show you guys from June of last year. Bombshell email reveals Sony didn't believe Microsoft would take Call of Duty exclusive. Remember when this acquisition first came into place, one of the biggest things were, Xbox and Microsoft want to become a monopoly. They want to take Call of Duty away from PlayStation. And everybody knew that. Apparently, from the emails that were, revealed, it was known that Jim Ryan himself knew that it was not an Xbox exclusivity play at all. He said they're thinking bigger than that, and they have the cash to make moves like this. I've spent a fair bit of time with both Phil and Bobby over the past day. I'm pretty sure we will continue to see COD on PlayStation for many years to come. We have some good stuff cooking. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm not complacent, and I'd rather this hadn't happened, but we'll be okay, more than okay. Well, he resigned. Well, he retired, I guess, because he thought they were going to be okay. Apparently, when the analysts showed up, they were like, what do you mean we're going to be more than okay? I don't know. June, and this document, I don't know if it was from like April before then, or if I don't know when this document came. I think we know for sure it's a 2023. Well, we don't know for sure. We have indicators that say that this document is a 2023 document. I mean, if you read a lot of the articles, it may have been earlier, right? But at the end of the day, they were not okay when the acquisition went through. They were not more than okay. They are not more than okay. They basically sunk, hundreds of millions into Concord, and that disappeared. And they're sinking more money into other live service games. They sunk all this money into Helldivers, and that's probably going the wayside of something else. They're making remakes and remasters all over the place. They're even following what we see in this particular model, which is they're going to take a premium sales model. Remember this premium sales approach? This is why they're selling you a $1,000 anniversary edition and selling you a $700 PS5 Pro when that console is not worth that much because of these changes in the industry. So Jim Ryan, knowing this, went to the FTC and went all over the world to try to block this particular deal. This is how PlayStation has been doing their business for the last few years. According to Phil Spencer, he said that PlayStation tries its best to move forward in the industry by making Xbox look small. They'll money hack games and make you think, the game is on, because the truth is, most of us gamers, we fall prey to hype. We don't really pride ourselves much for taking some time to just, breathe and evaluate the situation. That's not something that I would say we gamers are really the greatest at. Because, bro, sometimes we would react to some things that are just in some really interesting ways that I have to ask myself and say, really, are these really fans? Like I saw Xbox, and let me call out the Xbox community on this. Xbox fans, you guys really shocked me when Phil Spencer said games were coming to PlayStation on a case-by-case basis, and he talked about, Hi-Fi Rush and talked about Pentiment and the other games. I was so surprised. I saw an Xbox fan for years move to PlayStation under the guise of, I'm upset with Xbox. And I was like, man, some of these folk are not the biggest critical thinkers. I wonder how they've maintained influence in the console community this long. It was the most shocking thing I'd ever seen. Not going to name any names. So when you think about it, it's all a perception game. Now that it's actually come full-fledged, what is PlayStation doing? Now that we've seen that, the expenses are insane. The entire gaming industry is so bloated. To make a game will cost you about $300 million. We saw Marvel Spider-Man 2's cost and saw how much it would take for them to restructure their game. When Xbox said they were bringing Indiana Jones to PlayStation, that made all kinds of sense. In fact, you should be asking why PlayStation has not brought Marvel Spider-Man to the Xbox platform to sell more copies, to make the game way more profitable than it already is. No one makes the most amount of money in exclusivity. There's never been the company that stuck exclusivity in everybody's faces and made a bunch of money. If anything, it's the companies that make their, products, they make their software available to as many places as possible, that come out with the most amount of money. This is why Apple will always trail Microsoft at every stretch. Sure, they may take a temporary lead, but Microsoft's going to beat them because Microsoft has that capability to deploy stuff in almost anywhere without any, bars held or any walls or wall gardens around their products and their services. Apple, on the other hand, finds a way to always tick you off. They always find a way to do something that is just absolutely stupid. And so that's for that particular reason, that exclusivity to the platform, to want to create an ecosystem that is outside of everything, will always do Apple in at almost every turn. When somebody realizes, like, I can't really do anything here, or I'm stuck here, they eventually, there's usually a drastic turn. Or at least there's a limitation to the services that they'll buy with Apple, or the products, or whatever it is. Like me, I'll never buy anything more than an iPhone. I tried to buy an Apple Watch the other day. I was like, I'm not going to pay for this. And I was like, let me see other watch alternatives. And most of them wouldn't even work properly with an iPhone. Not because they can't, but because I know for sure that Apple's operating system can actually allow for them to work. But they want to make these things exclusive. So no, you don't get my business. Bye. It's the same thing. And so PlayStation understands this position in its market that, it can continue to do all of this mirage level of game publishing. But it doesn't really make any sense for anybody who's basically seen past this particular, facade that, this company is just basically blowing smoke and blowing horns everywhere. Can you believe that this is the same company that literally was acting like, this is not a big deal, but at the same time we're running all over the place to the CMA and to all the, to the FTC. Maybe they didn't go to the FTC, but pulling all kinds of strings with European, regulators to try to get this particular deal blocked, when they knew that it was not an exclusivity play. They dragged all of the execs to court, everything, just so that it would seem like this was an anti-competitive, monopolistic play at the end of the day, when it wasn't. And people continue to believe that what they're doing is actually like foundationally good for the whole gaming market. No, they have ruined gaming in many ways than you would even imagine. Go look at what Square Enix is going through right now. And I see a lot of these other smaller, development studios basically getting in bed with PlayStation, letting their games not be available. Do you really think PlayStation can carry you for the next 15 years? After seeing what's happened to, Square Enix, do you think your game is good enough in this competitive, saturated market to carry you for the next 15 years? You better think again, buddy. So I wanted to go ahead and point that out as something that I've seen very much so with PlayStation's, capability to pretty much use perception to drive its business. And I haven't even talked about the press and the media and how they also use that as another indicator and another proxy. But let me get out of your hair. Talk to me in the comment section. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Thanks again. Peace out.